Correct. So hope you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So as soon as you open the Power BI desktop application on your system, you get this kind of window over here. You can maybe get rid of this so that in future you will not get this screen. If you uncheck this checkbox, you'll directly get this particular page over here, right? This is a page wherein you do all sort of visualizations. Now over here, if you see on the first page, like home page, you get these menus over here. They talk about in order to get data from your external sources to Power BI desktop. Now the number of options are there. You have getting data from Excel, then Power BI data sets. So these Power BI data sets is nothing but the data sets were what we saw over Power BI web service. We saw data flows and data sets over there. So it's same data set there. Then connecting to SQL Server, entering the data, so you can enter manually data into one page, and then recent sources, basically the recent connections which you have created. So what I'll do now, I'll just click on get data once again, and at the place of clicking on any individual, let me just go to more. We'll get another pop-up over here. So this pop-up basically talks about all sort of data connections what Power BI can connect to. So over here, like file-based systems, then database related systems wherein SQL Server or any databases you can connect to. Then Power Platform, again you will get those features like data flows, data sets from Power BI web service, and these are common data service, CDS, and Power Platform data flows. So these everything whichever you see here is related to your Power BI web service only. Azure, we discussed earlier, like these are the different services on Azure cloud platform. So you can connect to these and get your data. Online services, so like Dynamics 365, SQL Server, not Server, sorry, SharePoint, Salesforce, or any online service, maybe Google Analytics and all that you can connect over here. Other will have, like web page or big data related environments or some custom solutions which are not, frequently used. So those things are also available here and you can connect to those. For now, I'll go to file and we'll select Excel and we'll say connect. So it will ask me to kind of look for a file which I can browse to and connect to that data. Let me just go to raw data right now and we'll select the sample superstore. This is the same sample superstore provided by Tableau. So as soon as you install Tableau, you get this particular sample. So I'm connecting to that right now in Power BI. So let's see. Okay, as soon as you say okay, you get this pop-up or get this message over here. Now over here, if you see, you can see order and then there is order to. You have people and then people to. Similarly, returns and then returns to. If you try to explore, right, you will get the same data in both the sheets. Actually, in my sheet, what I'm connecting to has only 3 sheets. So in each, like the group of these sheets, you will get the similar data. Not similar, I would say 100% same data. The reason being, the first sheet, what you see here, like order, it is the actual sheet coming from your Excel, what Excel, the file which we have. But this orders to has been just created by Power BI itself, right? So what happens, these tools, whether it is Tableau, Power BI, or any other BI tool, these tools generally try to convert your source into their native, formatting and encoding. And that is why they create a replica of the actual source. So that's why you are getting orders, but with that you are getting order to also. So over here, if you connect to orders to, Power BI will be little faster if I go, right? Because this has already been converted into Power BI's native encoding. So we can connect to this, and further to this, we can go ahead and load our data or transform our data. In case you don't want to kind of transform over here, you will have this transform option later also. So right now I'll just load this, and as soon as we click on load, Power BI will load that data into this particular segment wherein you can see all the fields. So it says creating data model, loading the data to the model, and then it started transferring the data. Here we go. So over here, if you see, all of your fields are there, right? Now some of them have the summation sign and dates. I think this we already discussed earlier, that summation is representing that these fields are measures, and calendar shows that that's your date field or date time field. Rest, apart from these two, whatever you see here will be your string or text type of data. So that's basis these fields you can do the reporting. Now with this, right now we are on reports tab. If we click on data, then you will get the same data what we have connected to. So each field over here, right? And over here also you can perform some of the operations, like you can add quick measures, new measures, or new columns over here, right? This portion helps you in order to do the relationship mapping within your tables in case you have two or more tables. So let's do one thing. I'll go ahead and click on get data once again on Excel. We'll connect the same file, and earlier what we did, we selected only one sheet. This time I'm going to select other two sheets also. What I mean is returns to and people to. These two sheets also I will take. So we will have all three sheets. If you select individual, you get only one table over here. Now if I'm selecting two and trying to load it, so what will happen? These two sheets will also appear here together. So like returns to and peoples to. Right? Over here if you see, all three sheets are there. You can see all the required fields, column 1, column 2, and column 1 and column 2. So over here if you see, yeah, so in the first one, orders, you're getting the actual column names over here, like category, city, country, region, customer ID and all. But in case of people to and returns to, it seems that column names are not specified. It says column 1, column 2, right? I'm not sure whether this is the same pattern in the file what we have connected to, right? So what you can do is, in order to make sure that you are getting the right column names, you can go to and see the data first of all, right? And how can you see the data? You can you can refresh that data from here, but that's fine. Let's go to transform data. And as soon as we click this transform data, this is the same option what you get while connecting to your file. So you had two options there, like load your data and transform your data. So this is the same option. So we'll go ahead and click on transform data, and it's gonna open another window over here wherein you can see the data related to your each connection what you did over here, right? So now if you see in orders, you have actual column names over here, and the data starts from row 1, right? Over here in returns, you got column 1 and column 2 over here, but in row number 1 you have actual column names what we want to be shown here, correct? Any doubts here? Right?
No. Yeah.
Your actual field names are here, right? But while we kind of connected to this data, they have been shown into this row number 1, and from row number 2 we are getting our data. So the first thing should be done over here is, like, we need to show these things into column 1 and column 2, so that our data will start from row number 1. I mean, this second row will start showing from the row number 1. So for that, over here if you see, there is one option called use first row as header. Correct? Over here also, use headers as first row or use first row as header. So what I'm going to do now, I'll use this first row as header, and as soon as you do that, you'll get returned an order ID into header names or column names, and then your data will start from row number 1. Correct? The same kind of settings we need to do in people also. Over here if you see person and region, these are your header names. Then you have people name, and then you have 4 regions out of the data. So what I'll do, I'll switch this particular row into header, and we'll use the same, like use first row as headers. So these type of transformations you do over here in your data. Now once we did it, correct, this one is also done, and this was already fine. With this, if you look at your data in a broader way over here, you see for each column, let's say you are on this column, at the top over here you are seeing some metadata information for your data. It shows like row ID, there are 1,000 distinct numbers and 1,000 unique numbers, basically same, right? Remove duplicates. It gives you that option to remove duplicates also. It's basically showing the profiling related to each column. It's a profiling related to this column. If you go here, it shows the profiling related to this column. In case you select this particular field, you get the details, right? Any column you select from here, row ID, you get the details related to that. And details over here, the detail is like count, total number of values. If there is any error while loading this data, if there is any null values or empty values, distinct or unique, right? So these things. Then minimum, right? Minimum, what is the minimum date over here? Maximum date and average date. See, basically average date doesn't make sense in case of date field, but yes, it does make complete sense in case of any numerical field. So for example, this one, average makes complete sense in case of sales, profit, quantity, or discount. Date being a dimension, average doesn't make any sense. Now over here, because it is a measure, so you have NaN, 0, minimum, maximum, average, and then standard deviation also. What is a standard deviation?
It is the, we can say this is the fluctuation from the mean point.
Correct. So fluctuation, or maybe you can say the average distance from the central point of your data, right? So in your data there can be number of observations, right? Observations, or you can say sample elements. So how, on an average, how what is the difference of those elements from the central point, or how much they vary from the central point? That is what we call as standard deviation. I believe mean and median you guys will be aware of, right? What is
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, mean is nothing but average, and median is going to be the central point of your data. So like looking at this, you can see the basically the profiling of your data elements. Now once your data is corrected, you will see the profiling in each table whichever you have here, right? Now without going to our different other options over here right now, I'll just close and apply so that we can come back and revisit it. it will reload your tables and data models. And over here, see, if you can see, it has automatically converted the headers now from column 1 and column 2 to person and region, and over here order ID and returned. And the good thing over here is like it has automatically created this relation also from orders to and people to. So there is one relation. Now what is that relation is? It has added these two tables basis region field, because region field is common in both. So it has created a kind of join, or created a relationship between these two tables. What I will do, I'll create another relationship between this table orders and returns also. So over here, if you see, you have order ID, and over here in this also you get the order ID. So I'll just drag this order ID and put it on returns. As soon as you do, you get that line over here. So order ID and order ID. You select these two fields and just click on apply security filters in both directions. What is the meaning of apply security filters in both the direction? If you select, let's say order ID from table 2, sorry, returns to, data will filter over here, or if you select from here, the data will filter here. So vice versa. The filters will work in both the direction. So that is why we selected apply security filters in both the direction. We'll say okay, and now the relationship has been created in this also. Over here also I'll make it both side, single, both. So region, it's west and west. Okay, so this arrow shows that data, your join will or relationship is from both direction, and over here also it is for both direction. Now once you are kind of, this is the relationship what I have created, right? Now where this relationship can help me, any idea? Or why do we create a relation between tables? I,
To perform
kind of,
joins.
exactly, to perform joins, or maybe perform filters, maybe perform, union. I can't say here because we don't have the common columns, but join will be the primary concern over here, so that, like, we can, using one table we can filter out data from others, or if we need, we can get data from, with help of one table we can get data from other table also. So it's all about the relation what we create basis the common fields or primary and foreign key relation. So over here, that is the relation we have created. Any point of time, let's say if you feel that the relationship is not good, we need to create it further. You can click on manage relationship. You get this pop up, and from here you can select a particular combination like orders to and returns to. You can select that and edit that relation. See, this is the same window what we got now, which we had earlier. Same goes with this. You'll edit it, you will automatically get that pop-up. Now, auto detect will help you out to kind of create the relationship automatically. Over here, you need not to do anything. It will automatically kind of do the relation between your tables. So for now, orders and peoples. So this is the order and people, because the relation which we have already created, it's already, I mean, the relation what we have here is already established, right? That is why when we clicked on auto detect, it says no relationship, no new relationship, right? Because the existing one which we had is already been created. If it is fresh, then you can try this and you will get the relationship over here. Okay, I'll close this, and over here, because we were at the relationship model, I'll go to orders, oh sorry, reports once again. So over here, if you see, all your tables will be here, but the good thing over here is now like all three tables are related, because we created that join, we created that relationship between these tables. Okay. So as of now, like the transformation options what we used and the relationship options what we use. Any questions in these two kind of topics?
Uh, yeah, there. What is the difference between one to many, and many to many Power BI? Because we used to create all three, right, in Power BI.
Right. See, that's a joining concept between your two tables. So whether it is your any database or the Power BI over here. Let me go to once again transform data. Sorry. Let's go to manage relationship. Okay. So over here you have many to one to one to many, and many to many, right? So my table one orders over here, is it possible that my order ID, sorry, basis which we have joined basis region. Over here, the region field will be repeated many times, right? Are you getting that point? Region field will have in a few values, and those values will be repeated many times. There is no unique value in the region,
Yeah,
right? It means,
yeah,
let's say if I talk about west region, you will have west region in many rows. If it is east region, it will be in many rows. And same thing can happen over here also, correct? In this table
yeah,
also it can happen. So the problem will happen, you will never get one to one join. One to one, when we say one to one join, basically, let's say if it is a primary key for this table, like that particular value will come only once, like your primary key, row ID, right? Row ID, for each row it is unique. So there would be only one occurrence of row ID in the entire table. If one row ID will come only once. Now, in that scenario, what I will do, like look for only row IDs into this table. Okay, let me open Excel. Let's say this is my table 1 and this is my table 2. And over here, let's say we have row ID and city, and over here we'll take row ID, we'll take, let's say, state, and let's take city also. Okay, fine. So row ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in city, let me take now. Then we'll take, let's say, Hyderabad, Bangalore, we'll take Delhi, and let's take Jaipur. And over here, let's say UP, Lucknow, and I'll take Rajasthan, Jaipur, and some other value, maybe H. I'm adding one more column here. Okay. Now, let's say if I say, okay. Now let's say if I say I want to create a one-to-one relation, or one-to-one relation basis. Let's say if I go by row ID and row ID, is it possible to create one-to-one relation? You have like one, then you have one value over here. Second, you have second value over here. But for fifth, right? As soon as you will have row ID 5, over here you have multiple values. Will it allow one-to-one relation? Or if you do so, what will happen?
One to many is possible.
Right. This scenario is called one-to-many because for this combination, you are getting multiple values over here. Right? So in such scenario, if your data is like this, you always need to select one-to-many. Correct? Over here. Same goes with like Jaipur. Over here you have two entries. And in this table, you got only one entry for Jaipur. Right? So I would say if you want to join basis row ID, then you need one-to-many relationship. If you want to join by city, you need many to one, right? That is one option. But if you look at Hyderabad, over here you have multiple entries of Hyderabad. Though you got the same value, it seems that row is completely repeated. So still one-to-many will work. Sorry, many to one will work. But in case you got different values over here, then many-to-many will be a better option. Basically, this you need to decide by looking at the data that which option you are planning to go. Right? But I'm just explaining that what it is actually. If let's say there is one field which is just unique all across. So for example, let's say if this row was not there, this duplicate row was not there, right? In this scenario, only over here this will be applicable many to one. But if you join basis row ID, right, then okay, this will also not be valid anymore. What will happen? For each row ID, you have only one value over here. Correct? Direct relationship. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So it will be one-to-one relation. No, but what happens? Let's say if I go one-to-one relationship over here, how many records I will get as a result? If I join tables,
5 records.
one-to-one relationship from table 1 to table 2, I should get 6 records, not 5.
Yeah.
Because my primary table has 6 records. So I will get all 5 matching record and last one I will get null over here in a result because there is no matching records in table 2. It's
Yeah.
similar to your inner join. Right? Inner join in SQL Server. If I go with this one, many to one records, so many to one. Over here, how many records I will get?
Uh,
I'm joining basis city and over here I have only 5 records. And out of that, Lucknow is matching, Hyderabad is matching, Delhi is matching, Bangalore and Jaipur. Yeah, all records are matching. So how many records I will get?
Six only or five.
You will get 6 only, right? You will get
Yeah.
6 records only, but you will get values for all the fields. So over, right, for all the fields. In this scenario, you will not get null. In this, what will happen? Because Jaipur is there, right? Jaipur is matching with these 2 records. So whatever value you want to fetch from here, that will be shown in both the rows, right? That is many to one. And this will behave as left outer join, correct? Similarly, let's say if I go to many, now for many to many, let's create one scenario. Let's say this is also 5. Over here it is 5. Let's say it is 1. And we already have 1 over here. Okay. So in this scenario, what will happen? If I join basis row ID and I do many to many, how many records I will get?
I think 6 bar 5. I mean 30.
See, I'm joining basis row ID, correct? So first of all, see the unique values. So you have 2 and 3 as unique value. This will give you only 2 records, correct? And then 2 records related to 5 are here and 2 records related to 5 are here. So what will happen for common records? It will do a cross join, right? So as you said, 5 by 6, it will not do 5 by 6 for all the records. I mean, yeah, it will not do exactly 5 by 6, but for the duplicate values, it will do that. So for unique ones, you will get 1 records only, like 2 and 3. 2 and 3, you will get only 1 record. So 1 record here, 1 record here. For 1, because 2 records are here and you got only 1 record there, so basically 2 records will be there for 1. And for 5, you got 2 records here and 2 records there, so total 4 records. 2 to the 4, correct?
Yeah.
So total you will get 8 records, correct? Because we are joining basis row ID only, we are giving that condition row ID and many to many. So you will get 8 records over here, and this is known as cross join, because I'm giving a condition of row ID. If I don't get, if I don't give the condition of row ID, then it is going to give you exactly 5 by 6 and you will have 30 records,
Yeah.
correct? So that is your cross join. Similarly, let's say if you're doing one to many, so one to many is going to be your right outer join. Hope this makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back. Any other question?
Yeah. Now how to configure them into the Power BI relationship model, because we have already seen both.
A relationship model. So that is what we created, right? So over here, see, you need to see your data first of all, right? Before doing any visualization in any tool, you need to understand your data. If you are not sure about your data, you will kind of do a wrong join. So for that only, whenever you connect to your sheet, either before connecting, just explore your data. If you cannot do before connecting your data, just come to your like transform data tab and then look at your data, because it will talk about the profiling, right? Now profiling, basically, if you see here, For first column, if you see, it says, actually there is a lot of background noise, Ritesh. I'll just put you on mute. Okay. Yeah. You can unmute whenever you want to ask a question. So on row ID, if you see, it says the total count is also 1000 and distinct and unique fields are also 1000. That means this value or this field is unique all across. For all rows, it is unique. Correct? But if you go here, it's not unique. The reason being, if you see, it says the count is 1000, but distinct values are 497. Which means it is not unique all across. If these two fields or three fields like unique, distinct and count, if all three are equal, like in row ID, which means it will behave as your primary key. So from this, you can always make a relation one to many or one to one. You will not be able to do many to many or many to one relation. It will always be one to many or one to one relation. But in case of this, where you don't have all the unique records, you have distinct and unique, different, as well as the count is also different. So it will always go with many relation. So many to one it can go, or many to many it can go, because you already have many values here. So this type of analysis you need to do, you need to look at the data profiling. This thing is only called data profiling. Let's say if you go for ship mode. So over here, if you see, only 4 values are there: standard class, second class, first class, and same day, right? Total count is 1000, but distinct records are 4, right? There are nothing unique records. All records are kind of duplicate. So this will always go with again many, like many to many, or many to one also. I have a doubt, because you need to look into other table whether over there it is repeating or not. Correct. Same goes with like consumer segment, 3 distinct values, country or region, 1 distinct value and 1000 records, city, unique 40. Okay, what is the difference between unique and distinct? Generally, what we say, like if we need to find out the unique records, we use distinct in SQL servers. Correct? That is what we say. If you want to find out unique record, use distinct in SQL
Yeah.
query. What is it? But here it gives you different number. What does this mean? Distinct is 174, but unique are 45.
Maybe distinct is repeated records and unique is non-repetitive one.
Is everybody fine with this answers?
No, I am unable to hear that voice.
Okay.
Distinct is repetitive and unique is non-repetitive.
Okay. Let me rephrase what he's saying. He's saying distinct is basically non-repeating columns, non-repeating values, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody is kind of okay with this answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's correct. Distinct is kind of like all the I would say over here, don't talk about duplicate or repeating thing. Distinct is irrespective of your whether the field is repeating or not repeating. It will give you the like it will count everything by 1. So for example, over here, like consumer is repeating 1000 times, correct? But it will count that only once. Then only it will give you distinct figures. But unique is only for those values which are coming, let's say they are not repeating. Correct. So over here, uh, there are 40 values in this particular state field. There are 40 values which are distinct, which means there are 40 states as of now. Like states which are there, they are completely repeating. If you see here, all the states are there. The records related to these states are continuously repeating, but what Power BI is doing over here in order to show distinct, it is showing you the only unique records. It talks about those records which are actually repeating in the data, but it is giving you the like unique instances of that. I mean, I may not be able to explain it the way I want here. Uh, See, I'll just go to my Excel data once again. Over here, if you see Lucknow, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Jaipur, and Jaipur, correct? If I ask you the distinct numbers, how many distinct numbers you will get? What is the distinct count for this column? Just follow the SQL logic,
5.
Five.
right? So it will count Jaipur as one, then Delhi one, Bangalore one, Hyderabad one, and Lucknow. So it will, for distinct, it will give you 5. But if I ask you the unique value,
4.
then
4.
it will be 4. Correct? So that's how it is going to be, because these 4 values are not repeating. This
Yeah,
value
okay.
is repeating, so it is not unique. But these
Okay.
things are unique, so it will give you 4. It's the same relation over here. Correct? So this profiling you need to kind of go through before starting or doing any join or any visualization. Whenever you connect to the data, first thing is to do the data profiling. Correct. And that is why when we say data profiling, it is not just kind of looking at your data. Sometimes it is cleaning your data, correcting your data, and then like fine tuning your data, and then going into visualization or making any join. So like in terms of transformation or cleaning, we just simply kind of created that header, the second row as the header. But there are a lot many steps what we need to do if your data is not structured properly, right? So for example, over here, if you see this field, you got CA, then you got 2018, and then you got some order ID. Basically, this is the combination of your state, year, and order ID. So if you want, you can split this column into three further columns, right? You can do that, right? You got state,
Yeah.
you got year, and you got order ID. How can you do that? You can easily go to this split column function, and over here it asks like how you want to do it, by delimiter, by number of characters, or by positions. So that kind of split you can apply. So maybe if you click by delimiter, what will happen? This particular field delimiter over here is kind of hyphen. So let's see if I do it. I just clicked on delimiter. So custom it has already taken delimiter as hyphen over here. Now for each occurrence of the delimiter, rightmost delimiter or leftmost delimiter through which you want to kind of split this. If I select this one, it's gonna create, okay, and it's gonna create 3 columns out of this. So now you can see one is order ID 1, order ID 2, order ID 3. Over here you got all the states, over here you got all the years, and over here you got all the order IDs, right? Good thing about Power BI is like whatever steps you are doing, it records those steps. So what I mean recording mean, over here you see applied steps. First of all, you connected to your data source, then you did navigation, promoted headers. So over here we have not promoted headers, we have promoted headers into other 2 tables, but it has recorded those steps. Then change data type. I don't think we have done any kind of data type changes. Then we have split it column by delimiter. So if I just remove this step, I'll get my columns back. I mean, all 3 columns will be kind of, let me just delete it, right? So you'll get your original data once more, correct? So that all the steps get recorded, and you can, anytime whenever you want, you can get that back. So that's a good thing about Power BI over here. Similarly, you can go to maybe some other field wherein you can apply split logic, or for example, this one. So FUR, that is furniture, OFF, that is office, and TEC, that is technology. So it is basically subcategories. There is a, yeah, see this only category basically. So furniture, office supplies, and technology. Then OB is, sorry, BO, then CH, so basically subcategory. So category, subcategory, and then there is some number associated with it. So similarly, this field is also combination of your category, subcategory, and some random number. I think it's order ID or something else. So these patterns you need to be aware of within the data. Correct? Any questions as of now?
No.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll just close and apply, and we'll go back to our reporting page. Okay, so over here, though like in our first session, we saw in brief that how can you create a visualization. That was just very simple, just drag and drop option what you need to apply. What I'll do, I will kind of take some fields from my order table at this time, and we'll go ahead and see that what it comes to. Okay, so over here, let me take category. As soon as you select category, it automatically brings that into cross table format. Then maybe we can take, let's say, after category, let's take subcategory, and then we can take our measures like sales or profit, whichever you want. So I have taken kind of two measures and two dimensions. This is the table what gets created, right? It might not be visible properly at this moment. What you can do, there are several things what you can do. First thing is like, for development purpose only, you can, not only development purpose, even in the when the report is kind of published, you can still go and explore this. So right now you can see the table shows in a bigger format, that is a focus mode we call it. See, it's a focus mode. If you click over here, you get a better view of the particular control. So you got categories, you got subcategories, then sales is there, and the profit is there. Let's say this is the view what we just created by selecting the fields. At any point of time, let's say you want to change the chart type, you just keep selecting this particular control and select any other chart over here. It will automatically gets converted. You need not to do anything over here. It will automatically gets converted into the required chart or the format what you select, right? So if you wish, you can select pie chart, donut chart, maybe cross table, right? This is the cross table, the pivoted format, or this will be the table what we had in the original view. What I'll do, I'll kind of leave it as it is, and we'll go ahead and create another control. So earlier what I did for this particular control, I directly started selecting my fields. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'll drag a particular chart, let's say, right? It gets added a blank template over here, and while selecting this, you go here and select your required fields. So maybe segment and sales. I just selected two fields. Your pie chart is ready, right? Similarly, let's say you want to kind of create map. So just double click over here. Your map control will appear, and then you need to select the fields related to your geographical location, or maybe the map fields. So we know like city is what we can plot over here. So I'll select cities, and then we can put our maybe sales or profit, any dimensions whichever we want. So by default, if you see at this moment, the map which we are showing is coming out of this particular control. Let's say if you're not finding it good, you can just keep selecting your control and go here and select the another map. Right? See the difference. This one is related to your heat map, right? Filled map, and this is going to be your simple map. But as of now, you don't see any data over here. Do you see any data? I think it is still loading because it is city is what we want to plot. It seems to be still loading that data. Okay, it's not showing. Still, it's not showing some any data over here. What I'll do, I'll just replace this cities and take state. Okay, here we go. So as soon as we selected state, you will get the complete United States over here, and it has marked different states over this. So if you choose this option, you get each individual state with the circular option. That's a kind of shows the individual values. But if you go by the filled map, it shows you this feature, and over here still there are further states. Correct? What I'll do for a moment, I'll drag this state field onto legend. What will happen? Right? I'll drag this and put it into legend also. See, for each state, now you will get a different color and different kind of formatting. As of now, we are showing only the state names over here, and on tooltip you can see state and profit both. Let's say if you want to show profit, so you need to see that where the profit is. It is on tooltip. If I go for this map, you get it like this. Over here, the circle what you get, it is as per the profit, that measure what we have dragged. Right? The size of these circles are basis the profit what we have dragged over here. Now let me just drag legend over here also. So what you will get for each state, you will get a different color. Correct? Now because both are map controls, you can play with it both of these and see that which matches your requirement, and accordingly you can keep a particular control into your visualization, and then you can move on.
Okay, I have a doubt here.
Yep.
So you told me that based on the requirement. So do we get the requirement saying that the same kind of map we need and all these details, or they just give the data and they need a report in real
See,
time?
it depends on project to project and company to company, right?
Okay.
In the projects, you get proper written requirement that we need a chart, we need these legends, we need these measures in the chart, and what type of charts it will be, right? There are
Okay.
companies wherein you will not be given anything, you will be just given the data, and they will ask you to create chart, right?
Okay.
Create the
Okay.
visualization. But
Mhm.
in first format, what will happen in the first type of setups, what will happen, because they have given the written requirement, there would be a testing process. They will kind of compare the requirement and what you have created, and out of
Mhm.
that, whatever was the requirement, you need to convert accordingly, right? If let's say you created
Okay.
something different, so during testing that will come up and you need to kind of update that. But if you are in a second type of system wherein you are not getting the written requirement, right? So in
Mhm.
that case, you need to look at the data and you need to come up with visualization by your own. But the story will not end here. What will happen after this? Once you create something, you need to showcase that to the stakeholders,
Mhm.
right? Present that.
Mhm.
You need to take them through the visualization what you created. So at that time, there would be kind of feedback and points. They will ask, okay, maybe show this like this, or maybe I will prefer this chart. Then you will start getting the input, right? And then based on the feedback and input, you need to update your chart again. So in none of the process, in none of the processes, it will happen like I have just created and it is final. No, everywhere there is a kind of guidelines or feedback basis which you will update your charts, right? But that is good, like if you can come up with your approach and everybody agrees to that, right? That happens sometimes. That happens. So that will come as you go and see the experience, because see, each organization has different working style as well as their branding, color branding and everything. So maybe the colors which I'm choosing right now, it might not be according to the company's color branding, so they will ask me to change the color. Correct. So these things will definitely be there. That doesn't mean that you don't know the visualization or your visualization is wrong. That's a guidelines of a particular organization. Now let's add this card. uh, Basically, yeah, I call it card only, sorry, not this one. Card, this is this one is card, right? This is gauge. It will show you the kind of speedometer, but over here this is the card. Card is generally used for matrices, sorry, KPIs. So you can simply take small cards and show a particular KPI. So let me, I'll put it over here. I'll take one more card. On first card, I will select simply sales. In second one, I'll select profit. Right? Now again, over here, the setup of these things you can plan accordingly. Now, what I mean, like you can plan accordingly is, maybe if I try to put this here and this one I would like to put over here, I might take this pie chart at the top and this table in the bottom. So maybe something like this. Let me just put one more field over here. I will try to put, okay, we have category, subcategory, drill down, add drill down fields here. Okay. Let's leave it as it is right now, because drill down I will show as we go. Now, okay, I want to utilize this space better. It, though it doesn't look good, but I have kept it. Okay. Basically, I wanted to kind of arrange these cards because I want to show KPIs at the top. So maybe something like this. You can. Okay. So you got two KPIs. We'll drag few more. For example, let's say another card. Over here, I will take total discount. I'll take one more card and I will put total quantities over here. What other KPIs we can show? I think one more KPI I can drag. So any idea like what else I can drag over here in terms of KPI? Do you understand what KPI is?
Yeah.
Right. In interviews also, people generally ask that what type of KPIs you have worked on. So that's what I'm asking. What else we can drag as KPI over here?
Maybe number of customers.
Okay, fair enough. So maybe number of customers. So let me do that. What I'll do at the place of the first customer ID, I'll try to take the count. Let's say take count. So this is the count of customers. Uh, okay, so we have taken 4 cards over here. Good thing will be if I can just have some formatting around it, maybe borders. So let's say if I select border and take black color, fine. Same goes with this. For formatting, you need to select the second option over here. For any visualization control, just select that and go to this second option over here. And then there are a number of things, but right now I'm going with the borders only. Black color. In case you want to change the color, you can do that. Right. So now if you see, the height is not same everywhere, right? For first two, I think height is same. For this one, the height was different. Again, this one and goes with this thing also. And maybe I can reduce the width a little bit. Okay. So your KPIs are ready. Now one more thing over here. Where is the header? Do we have a header in this dashboard? We don't, right?
No,
How can we get the header?
I think there is an option.
Okay. So generally you don't get option for header. What you need to do is you need to take some field which you can use as a header over here. So I'll just do that in a minute. For this also, I'll go ahead and add borders. This control also borders. And for chart also, I will add border. Okay, fine. So what I said, we'll go ahead and add a header over here. See, these things you need to be kind of quick once you start working on it, because formatting, right, the UI or the presentation layer, generally people, right, you don't get good feedback about it. It takes a lot of time, right? But people will say that it will happen just in a minute. So if you're not good with it, it takes a lot of time to kind of set things. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll put some header by using a text box. So I'll take a text box, and over here you can specify anything. Maybe let's say uh, Superstore summary. That's the text which I have mentioned. I'll change the font and all. Maybe 24, no, 42, middle aligned, and you can change the background color and all for this. And what we'll try to put it at the top. Because it is central aligned, you'll get it like this. Font size, I think we need to reduce a little bit more. Here we go. And for this, let me just select the background color. Under background color, we can take maybe some other color. So that's how you'll be able to put your header over here. In this area, let me put some other visualization. Maybe I'll try to put trend. Won't look good because it's very small area as of now. But let's take, so over here, because it is a trend line, you have access, legend, values, and secondary values. Secondary values means you can create dual axis, right? So we'll take some example wherein we will try to create dual axis chart, and then we will use this. So let's, on axis, let me put order date. And in order date, I'll kind of remove everything except month. I'll remove quarter also. I'll remove, okay, let's keep year and month only. Then in values, I'll drag sales. So you can select your things or you can drag those things over here. So as of now, if you see, you are getting 2016, 17, 18, and 19. As soon as you convert this into maybe months, maybe into months, what will happen? See, I've just went into the focus mode, and within the focus mode, because it is a date, right? Before I go ahead, let me ask one question once again. As soon as I drag this date field over here, you got year, month, quarter, day, all those values. What are those values and where they came from?
Because we joined the table. The values. Um,
No, it is not because of.
no, not because of joining. Yeah.
Mhm. So why we are getting, the month, quarter, or day?
I
Or actually,
think I think the day itself is creating its own hierarchy.
Mhm,
So
correct. So what happens in the, like, I don't know about any other BI tool, but in Power BI and Tableau, what happens if you have any date or date time data type, right? These tools automatically convert your field, basically date or date time, into hierarchy. So date is a basically default hierarchy in these tools. And if your field is in a proper format, automatically you get year, month, or quarter derivatives out of it. And that is what happened over here. So because it is a default hierarchy, which means drill down capability will also be there. We can change date into year, we can see that. We can change that into month, we can see the data. Or we can change that into quarter and then we can see the data, right? I'm not talking about the detailed hierarchy right now. The only thing, because we use this field here, I'm talking about the date hierarchy. Now, on this particular visualization, if you go to any other visualization, you just focus on these signs over here, right? These signs were not there in any other visualization. Whether it is pie chart, you don't have that. Whether it is map, you don't have that. Or whether it is a table, you don't have that option, those options. It is only this particular chart where we started getting these lines, right? Now let me tell you, this is not because of the chart type what we choose. This is coming because of the date field, because it is a hierarchy. So you can drill it down to the next level. This means, right, click to turn on drill down. This shows go to the next level in the hierarchy. This shows go to the one level down, go to one level down in the hierarchy. So if you do here, automatically that trend gets converted into month format. So year and month format right now. Earlier it was, so let's say if you go back, it's a year format. If you go here, it's basically okay. This is also months, correct? And the third option what we chose earlier, that was also month. See, this is also month, and if I go back and select this one, this is also month. What is the difference? Why we are getting a different trend?
Maybe this is based on a single year and can you show me that?
Okay, so I'll go back and click on this, right? This is a monthly format, year and month. If you go here and then I click on it, then it's again by month.
Okay,
And which,
this is for a particular year, and that is for all the years it is calculating as per month wise.
okay, anybody else?
Yeah, yeah. This one will be the combined data for the February for the all the 3 years, and the combined data for the August for the other 3 years. Maybe the sales line in the February will be more for the all the years. So the trend is up, and for the August also. So
Okay, so I mean, I'm not talking about the data right now, but the first line which you said that this is the combined data for all years, right? How many years we have? I think 4 years, I believe. 16, 17, 18, and 19. So this is the combined view of all the years, right? We should not use this in practicality. The reason being, this doesn't give you the clear picture of data, right? We should not use this. Uh, Let me tell you that what exactly it is. See, I'm not sure in Power BI that they describe it like that, but in Tableau they have provided a very good description for it. There is a concept called date value and date name, right? Do you think what is the difference? I mean, do you know any difference between date value and date name?
no,
Okay,
no
so date value, right? If I say Monday, it's a value, right? Monday is a sorry, opposite. Monday is the
date name.
date name. It's a name of the particular date, right?
Yeah.
Or if I say January, it's again the name, but it is not giving the actual value. Value will be the actual date on that day, correct? So this particular chart, what you see over here, it is just based out of date name and date name. So Jan will come every year, right? Feb will come every year. You will not know like which March it is. It is showing the combination of all the Marches in your data. It is a combination of all the Septembers in your data, right? So this visualization we should not show actually. What we need to show is this one, wherein this is the combination of your month and year. So you will know if it is Feb, which year this belongs to. If it is December, which year this belongs to. This is the true trend of this particular data.
So is it like
Understood?
there is a option in Tableau for value and name so that they select and then it shows?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, likewise here you are getting the drill down thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have option here also, but in Tableau also they have specifically mentioned it actually. That's a good thing
Okay.
over Tableau. Yeah.
So is it possible to hide this one, the one which we did for the year alone?
Not exactly. You cannot hide that. But what I would prefer in that case, show this as a default in your visualization. so that whenever user come to on this page, they will see this by default. See, the reason being this functionality why we can't hide, because it is not only used for dates, it will be used for other fields also, right? And over there it will be true, but in case of date it is kind of giving you the wrong numbers. So that's why we cannot hide. So that's how your that trend looks like. So this is how, like, we just created our KPIs, we created one trend line, we created one cross table, one pie chart, and one map. So our this page is almost ready, correct? We can just go ahead and publish this particular dashboard. It will ask me to save. I'll go to, and this time, let's say if you want to save it in your workspace or you want to share in the shared workspaces, right? So there was one test workspace what we created under workspaces. So if you want to save it there, you can do that, right? You understood the difference between workspaces and my workspace, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right. So it just got published. You can click over here and you'll get that visualization over here. You can go to full screen anytime. Filters we have not used any at this time, so I'll just collapse it, and this is how your view will appear. The good thing over here is, let's say you want to kind of filter out maybe for furnitures, just select that. Accordingly, rest of the elements will show you the required number, maybe for a particular state, California, New York,
So all this is
right?
happening only because of the relationship, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Even as of now, I will not say because of relationship. The reason being, if you remember the fields which I have taken all the fields from orders to only. I have not taken anything from people or returns.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So whatever you see, that is not because of that relation, but still there is one relation what automatically gets created within these objects, and that is, let me show over here. You get change relationship or change the filter relations actually. So modeling, manage relationship. No, not that one. Okay, these options I will cover later because it needs some kind of customization. So data drill down. Okay. Edit interaction. So once you select this any particular chart, then you get that tab. Otherwise you won't get. There is a tab called format and edit interactions. So right now what is happening, by default, whatever object you select, your data gets filtered, correct? In all the
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah.
Let's say, let's say you don't want, let's say in current scenario, let's say you don't want data to get filtered out of these KPIs. I select anything, but I don't want the data into these KPIs to be filtered. So what I will do, I'll just go ahead and click on, maybe any of these right now, just any chart, and go to
Okay.
format and then go to interactions, edit interactions. So as soon as you do that, right, you get these options. Where is that? Okay. So over here, you get this small icon, correct? None. If you
Okay.
select this, it's kind of, going to stop that filter. I mean, I wanted to show this interaction option. This will stop using that filter, right? Now it says apply entire page, or you can select, specific visuals wherever you want to kind of apply that. So as of now, this option, visuals, filter, or this one, but it is coming only for this particular chart right now. Let me just select. Data is changing everywhere. Okay, now if you see your trend, what is happening? From this particular chart, there is no change, correct? All the numbers are changing, but if I select anything in pie chart, there is nothing which is changing in the trend. But as soon as I'll go to any particular map, then you will see that the values are changing again. So from what you can do is, from a particular control, you can make sure where the filter will work and where the filters will not work. So whenever you selected this control, you are getting this sign over here actually, right?
Right.
If you select this, for this you are getting sign over here.
Okay.
It's not visually, it's not coming at the right place, but from here you can control these filters. We'll talk more about this, because we need to kind of, when we work between multiple dashboards, we need to kind of come up with a customization. So we'll
Okay.
talk about, these things as we go.
Okay.
We have already published it. I'll just name it as maybe dashboard. Let me call it summary, right? Now, before I go to any other visualization, if I ask you at what places you are going to use trend chart and what places you are going to use pie chart, how do you answer that? Let's say if you want to do time series analysis, can you use pie chart?
No, no, no.
Why?
Generally, the pie chart what we use for the sector wise segregation like that.
Mhm.
So for the time chart and all, it will go forever like that. So if I create today also to tomorrow, that the line should go up and we have to update. So generally, we prefer the line like that.
Mhm. Okay. So it's basically like limited charts, or maybe a specific chart has a specific requirement. You cannot use all the charts everywhere, correct? In all scenarios.
Yeah.
We used time series because I had dates and one measure, right? I wanted to show the trend, but the same cannot be represented over here. If you do so, what will happen? Let me just, over here you have segments. I'll take the same fields, uh, date as well as sales in pie chart, right? Let's see what happens. I'll take pie chart or donut chart, anything, and then we'll take sales and we'll take date, right? I've got the visualization here also, but is it the true visualization what my purpose was? I
No.
can never I can never do a kind of time series analysis. It will only talk about like what ratio of my sales was in 2016, what ratio is there in 17, what is there in 18 or 19.
Mm.
It gives you the association or maybe the composition of sales in different years. But I will never be able to do the trend analysis or maybe time series analysis over here. For that,
Mm.
I need this chart, line chart only, right? So it depends the purpose. My data chart is still correct. This chart is also correct, and the this chart is also correct. The chart what we have here, both charts are correct. But you need to look at the purpose that why you are creating it. If it is for time series analysis, create that line chart. If it is just to show the composition, then use the pie chart. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? The drill down capability will be possible here also. You can go here because it is date, you can see that. Because it is hierarchy, you can see that. You can still do the drill down and everything. But
Oh,
when I say,
so
hmm,
okay, I have a question here. Because you said hierarchy, so which visual would be the best for hierarchies?
see again, its question is very subjective. Which visual
Okay.
is going to be for hierarchy? See, if you have, it's again on the requirement. But over here, if you see, I believe
Mhm.
that cross table is best for me, right? That's what I think. If you have number of measures and number of dimensions, then cross table is the best one. Or if you are just showing the trend line or maybe a line chart, then again you can show the hierarchy over here. But the condition should be here that you can work only with one measure and one dimension in case of line chart,
Okay. Hmm.
right? If you have multiple dimension and multiple measures, then hierarchy will give a very bad view. Your visualization
Hmm.
will not look good.
Hmm.
In that case, cross table is a better option, right?
Okay.
So it depends the other scenarios also. Not only that you have hierarchy, so use this chart. No.
Hmm.
In cross table, I have not shown hierarchy. I'll maybe share it tomorrow. Then we will
Okay.
see that how can we do multiple hierarchies within a cross table, like hierarchies on column side and hierarchies on row side, both.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yep. So any questions as of now?
Oh, I have two questions.
Mhm.
So you said hierarchies can be done. I mean, it is created default. Is it possible to create manually?
Yeah, it is that is possible, right?
So,
You can combine your fields. For example, category. Let's say if I select category, I'll select, let's say, product name, and I'll select one more field called, let's say, subcategory. Right click over here and new hierarchy.
okay.
Okay. So you can create your hierarchies manually. So, okay, right now I think only one field was selected. So it has subcategory at this time. I'll let me drag product name also here. Okay.
Oh, it's hidden.
No, it's not created properly. I don't
Okay.
want chart. It has only one field as of now, right? I needed three fields, so that's why I selected. I'll say orders, product name, and subcategory. Okay, it's creating only one at this time. Delete. Okay, I just dragged it, the product name, on top of it. Then it came here. Similarly, I need to drag category. I'll drag it here. No, it didn't come. Okay, it didn't come. Let me new hierarchy. What I'll do, I'll add into the existing hierarchy. So then it will come up here. So now you can see you have this is the name of your hierarchy subcategory. Under that you have subcategory field, then product name, and then category. What I'll do, I'll just rearrange. First of all, I'll take category. Below that, I'll take subcategory and then product name.
Mhm.
So what will happen? Let me just get rid of this control. If you select this one, you are going to get furniture, book subcategories, I mean category, subcategory, and product name.
Mhm.
Right? So this is one of the hierarchy which just got created. What we can do is, let me just uncheck everything, right? I'll just select, let's say, category.
Mhm.
And if you add, the drill down capability over here, add drill down fields here.
Mhm.
So let's say if I drag subcategory or I drag some other fields, what is going to happen on this particular, it's filtering the other one, but over here you can manage your hierarchies. Let's say include show as table. You need to add everything to drill down, then only you kind of see those
Mhm.
options. It. So you got category, subcategory, and this is on values. Fair
Mhm.
enough, fair enough. I mean, it's not wrong, but no, that's not I want. Okay, let me just get it on one table first of all. Let me go to, okay. So what I did, I added one pivot table or the matrix table over here. And within that, I'm not talking about the custom hierarchy right now. I'm just showing you the drill down capability, right? Like same hierarchical experience. So in matrix, it automatically creates that hierarchy. So I have selected three fields like category, product name, and subcategory. So if you see here, if I go to this particular table, you got furniture, office supplies, and technology, and this is the same component what you get over here. So you can see the drill down capability, right? First of all, furnitures are there. Then you can see, okay, over here, let me drag this category below the subcategory. So category, subcategory, and product name. Now, if you go to the next level, you get the subcategories. And if you go to the further next level, then you get the product names. So it's a kind of, row wise hierarchy what you can create. Similarly, if you just put onto columns, you put that order date. See, so you are getting rows and columns, two options over here. If you're on rows, you can expand on row side. If you select columns, you can expand it on column side. So quarters and then further months or further like dates. So there are two hierarchies in one cross table. Now, whatever value you want to put here, you can do that. So on values, let's say you want to put profit, you can have that here. So just one cross table and different levels of information,
Okay.
right? So on rows, so you have hierarchies on x-axis as well as on y-axis both.
Mhm.
Correct. So we'll see that hierarchy again, the custom hierarchy, what we create, we'll see that again. But
Okay.
as of now, this is the view actually I prefer in cross tables, because if you have multiple measures or dimensions and labels, but
Hmm.
each visualization has its own preference. So I'll be sharing one more. I think I have a chart, basically an image that will talk about when to use a particular visualization, right? When to use pie chart, when to use bar chart, when to use any other visualization.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions before we drop today?
Yeah, just one more. And we created relationships, right? In that you manually created one. Do you remember?
Yes.
But when we tried to auto detect, why it didn't get auto detected? The region chip.
No, no, no. So auto detection will work if there is still a possible relationship. There was one relationship which we already created,
Okay.
right? Auto detection will work. Let's say, okay, let me just go ahead and do it for you. Let's say manage relationship over here. Let me just remove this relation. Correct.
Okay.
I'm just removing this. So orders and people, the relationship I have removed. Now if you go to manage relations and new, and over here what tables, order to, and the second table I want to take it people, right? Over here
Hmm.
I'll not do anything. I'll just say okay, because I want to add a record here. Correct. I've not selected any field where I want relation to happen.
Okay.
Correct. I just added this record here. I'll select it and we'll say auto detect. Found no relationship. Fine, it's not there. Okay, how to do it? Auto detect. Let me. No, 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 no. I would like to remove it. Okay. See, it says found one new relationship and then it will add it. So uh, I'll just remove these both.
Now it should show two, right?
Correct. It should show two records. If I remove both, what will happen? As many tables you got here in this particular page, you just go to not transform data, go to manage relations and simply
Hmm.
click on auto detect. Don't do anything, just simply say auto detect. So based out of all the tables over here, it will detect that relations, right? It is adding the relation only for the orders and people, but not for these two. The reason being over here, the order ID, this one and this one, right? In even first case also, when we kind of created this relation, we added manually. So maybe because of some data type issue or something, it's not able to detect that. See,
Okay.
so we need to kind of create it manually out of your orders and then your returns. So this order ID,
Okay.
see, maybe the reason is over here. If you see that it's not finding any common values,
Hmm.
that could be one of the issue, right? I'm not saying that, but it could be one of the issue. It says this relationship has cardinality many many, and this should be used if it's expected that neither column order ID or order ID contains unique values, and that
Okay.
is significantly different behavior of many to many relationship, right? So it's like many to many both side,
Hmm.
right? So maybe that's a reason, because this order ID is neither a primary key in the first table or in the second table. That's why it's not able to identify that. But we can add manually if we want.
But that won't give any errors and all, right? If we add it manually.
See, again, we added manually, that's fine. But the relation what we have made, right, it is many to many. If there
Okay.
is no unique values, obviously whatever you are going to get will be a cross join. And in cross join, what happens, you get the number of records, I mean like multiplied number of records, and the values according to that join will be correct. But if you look for the granular detail, that might not be correct, right? I mean, business wise it might not be correct, but logically or technically it will be correct. Right? Any other thing?
No. But we'll cover those hierarchies and interactions, everything in detail, I think, right?
Custom hierarchies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Generally,
I'll cover
yes.
that. Yeah, I'll cover that. I still, go through this cross table because I just shown you in the last moment, but I'll be going through this cross table as we go in tomorrow's session.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right then. So let's meet tomorrow and then we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right then.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.